I come in, sir.
Please come, Vaishali.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Please sit.
Thank you, sir.
Your DAF doesn't tell us where are you from. So where are you from?
Sir, I have been born and brought up in Delhi, and I have also done my graduation from Delhi University.
That we know from IP College. You have done mathematics, and mathematics is your optional, and you have appeared before for the UPSC, but this is your first interview.
Yes, sir.
And we also know your hobbies are keeping fit in the room and creative writing. So that much we know for sure. And we also know that you are working as a scientific technical assistant at the DRDO. Shall I ask you a question about DRDO? DRDO often produces things which are supposed to be very, very impressive according to the annual report. But when it comes to the actual user, the army says that DRDO has let them down. And they want to go for purchases abroad because they say national security is a mission critical thing and we cannot have Swadeshi promoted at our expense. Would you agree with that?
Sir,
Would you agree with the objections which army purchases people repeatedly, whether it's a trainer jet, whether it's a missile system, whether it's a tank, whatever?
So I can partly agree with that fact because the technology, when it is being made and when it is being used by the user, it takes a lot of time, and in between the product gets outdated. So that is the major concern, that the user trials and as well as the time at which the technology is being used is huge. So the streamlining of the process of user trials and as well as the development has to be somehow increased, so that the user requirements are in a way according to that time in which the technology being is used.
Could you answer another small question for me from DRDO? Can you give me an example of a technology or a weapon system or a platform which DRDO has developed, which has given India an edge in its usage, and India is also exporting it?
So the best example could be the BrahMos missile system, which is being exported to Philippines, and as well as the Arjun main battle tank. It is also under the process of being exported. And regarding the drones and drone swarms, we are collaborating with various startups as well.
Thank you. I'll pass you on to Mr. Swaroop.
Okay, Vaishali, you said you are fond of reflective writing.
Yes, sir.
What do you write about?
So mostly any event in my life which I think is worth remembering and from which I have learned some value which I can cherish, I write about that.
So give us one example of something, incident from which you learned something.
Sir, if I talk about the recent one, it would be the foundation day of DRDO, which was on 1st January, and it was the speech of the Honorable Chairman, in which he very much laid the emphasis of the information age. He said that since my lab is working in cryptography, he said that the world is moving into the area of information warfare, and the world is moving in the area of non-kinetic and non-contact warfare. So the importance of information security is huge.
Would you agree with the statement that has been made some time back that data is the new oil?
Yes, sir, definitely.
But in what way data is not the new oil?
Data is
Not the new
oil.
What is the difference between oil and data? This is slightly out of the box. So.
Yes, sir. Sir, one thing I can which I can think of differentiating is oil is a resource which is non-renewable. So if I compare it with data, data is something which is going beyond boundaries and beyond binaries. So data is something which is unmanageable as well. Oil is something which we can manage via reserves, but data has no boundaries.
Okay. Now ChatGPT, the new AI chat box has come. Have you tried it out?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you think ChatGPT can revolutionize everything? Because people are now developing even code through that and things like that.
Yes, sir. ChatGPT is somehow making the dream of AI into reality, but the level of intelligence that ChatGPT is mimicking is not exactly what a human brain can think of. It can increase.
It has beaten some Harvard and Stanford graduates recently at the entrance exam.
Yes, sir. But while talking to some people who are technical background, and they tried some codes on ChatGPT in my office as well. They said that it is more suited to routine jobs. If I specify the job that is being to be done, if I specify the parameters, then ChatGPT is not viable option for that. But definitely the routine and the monotonous jobs will be threatened via ChatGPT.
Have you heard about the lethal autonomous weapon systems, laws?
Sorry, sir, I'm not exactly aware of that.
Killer robots. Because they can be deployed in the battlefield, and the United Nations, in fact, is now asking for regulations and guidelines on how to manage these lethal. Anyway, okay, if you've not heard about it, it's fine. We move on to something else. Russia-Ukraine war. How is the Russia-Ukraine war being fought beyond the battlefield, beyond the military dimension?
So first dimension is the economic dimension of the war, since it has led to the weaponization of the supply chains. The food, fuel and fertilizer prices have been impacted due to that. There is also international diplomatical dimension to it. It has again brought the world into, I can say, into a new Cold War era. It has taken place. And also I can think of the fact that data is also being seen as a weapon in this war. Various nuclear installations were being technically hijacked. So
nuclear, okay, you mean like the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant and things like that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You forgot about the information warfare that has preceded the war, actually.
Yes, yes, sir.
Now, what has been India's position on this war?
If I go by the diplomatic stand, that India has taken a neutral stand, keeping its national interest at the forefront. And also India has played the role of keeping it on the talks table. Like it has said that war is not a lasting solution to the peace. So India has favored off military talks so that it can be handled diplomatically.
After seeing the Russia-Ukraine war, do you think China will be encouraged to attack Taiwan or will refrain? What is your personal thinking?
So seeing the repercussions of China being attacking Taiwan, it is huge, since Taiwan is
you didn't hear. I said, will China be encouraged to attack Taiwan now, seeing that Russia has gobbled up parts of Ukraine, or China will be discouraged after seeing the impact of the Russia-Ukraine war?
Sir, I think China will not be encouraged, in my opinion, because Russia, being a military superpower, is still battling, and it is turning out to be a stalemate for Russia. And seeing the position of Taiwan in the semiconductor market, China attacking Taiwan is like ruining out its own supply chain. So it will be economically, militarily, it will be a stalemate for China.
Thank you.
Okay. Just a few days back, US general has said that he has a strong hunch that the US and China will go to war by 2025. But then that's not my question. My question is that the rivalry between the China and the US, is it throwing any opportunities for India, mostly in terms of the economic terms?
So since China is the supplier of various rare earth metals, and USA is also utilizing them, so I can see a bright opportunity for India to be a player in the semiconductor market, and also in the exploration of the rare earth minerals. The Sagar module of the Indian Ocean region is also can also be leveraged for polymetallic nodules, and also in the agriculture exports, since China is a leading exporter, so India can somehow replace that.
But then we will have to build our capabilities. For example, semiconductors that you were talking about it. Yes, you are right, but we are only taking just baby steps, and a lot needs to be covered. So do you think that either we are a bit slow starter, or we are not looking at the great opportunity that is knocking at doors, so we are not alert enough to seize the opportunity?
If I talk about semiconductor in particular, then I can say that these are the projects which are long gestational ones.
Exactly.
They need something like a fixed cost advantage. their one-time costs are very high. So initially there will be a gradual turnover for India, because projects like these require collaboration between private sector as well as the government sector. So a proper coordination like Vedanta has come up for a fabrication plant.
And the PLI, that supportive system that India is providing, do you think it's good enough or supportive enough, or the government should do more?
Sir, it is supportive as it is encouraging MSMEs, and also it is...
no, I'm semiconductor field I was talking about.
Yes, sir, it is encouraging, but I believe that more design related incentives are required rather than production link incentive, because design is something which is crucial in semiconductors.
Yes. And in other areas that you said, that agriculture, we have an opportunity, but which products are you talking about? For example, the wheat, we always the grow more than we need, but recently, like the one slackening aspect that happened, and then we had to stop export of the wheat.
Sir,
So is it just a bravado?
Definitely.
Because once we said that we can feed the world, but then it's not backed by the realities.
Definitely wheat is crucial for our food security, but seeing that 2023 is the International Year of Millets, so I believe the opportunity is huge to diversify our agricultural exports, and millets are something which are India's advantage and which are recognized globally as being a nutri-critical cereals. So I think diversifying the agricultural sector and the food processing sector can be the key for India's advantage.
So millets that we were talking about, it after all, India proposed this thing, but then how do you look at it that it catches the imagination of the farmers? Because the farmers are yet like the groove of paddy and wheat, and mostly sugarcane.
Yes, sir. Farmers are mainly concerned about income security per se.
Yes.
And to encourage them growing millets, we have to engage them into that narrative, or I can say assurance, that millets are something which helps in replenishing the water table, as well as various food processing contracts can be engaged with farmers, so that production of millets can be incentivized and it can prove to be doubling the farmer income stream.
Thank you. Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Good.
Vaishali, you are a fitness enthusiast.
Yes, ma'am.
So, do you agree with my statement that after COVID, actually now the fitness consciousness is increasing?
Definitely, ma'am, because COVID has led out some shocking revelations that very healthy people were impacted by COVID in a very lethal manner. So the importance of a healthy diet as well as a healthy body has been reminded by the COVID's aftermath.
Okay. What are your views about body shaming? Why it is happening?
Ma'am, in particular, if I talk about women's body shaming, I can say that it is somehow cause of social stigma and social pressure that women face in our society, that they have to look in a certain way, they have to fit into that particular size. So it is the societal expectations that I can say is the major cause of body shaming.
Other than societal expectation, is there anything else?
I can talk about the personal comparison also that is happening, because we judge a person by their looks.
Is this the advent of social media has actually increased body shaming?
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you think that's also one of the reasons?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So, what do you think? What can be done to, reverse this kind of trend? And especially when, it's mostly gender specific. The women are mostly more targeted than men in terms of body shaming. So, let's say if you have to devise a strategy for certain schools and colleges when you are posted as a DM. So, what 3 components which would you like to incorporate in that strategy? Countering body shaming. Awareness, don't tell me. Tell me something else.
Ma'am, the first thing that comes to my mind is appropriate role modeling. If I am able to bring forward some role models which people admire, and they are able to show their vulnerabilities, they are able to show their weaknesses, that somehow make people believe that nobody is perfect. And if I am able to bring that narrative into the minds of students in particular, that all bodies are perfect as long as they are healthy.
Okay, that's one thing.
And second thing, on a policy domain, I would like to bring some curriculum change. In this way, we can educate people via curriculum so that they are more aware, like some kind of words or some kind of phrases which should not be used, they can be taught.
Okay, good. Have you ever felt unsafe in Delhi?
Ma'am, it depends upon the area and the time in which I am traveling.
So,
Which areas and what time you have felt unsafe then?
Sir, if I am going, suppose, by a bus after 7 o'clock, then I feel unsafe. However, in a metro, I feel safe even after 7 o'clock.
any other place where you particularly feel unsafe?
Area?
Any place which has lack of street lighting, I feel unsafe.
So let's say if tomorrow you have to design a campaign for say building a safe city for women, and we have to build Delhi a safe city for women, what would you like to incorporate?
Ma'am, if I like to act as a broad policy, act in a broad policy, I would like to make a data analytic sort of software in which I can map out the dark zones of Delhi, because they need urgent attention by proper lighting. And also last mile connectivity via transport is crucial for women's safety, because metros are there, but last mile connectivity is still a distant dream. And regarding workplace safety, shall I talk about?
No, you can. It's entirely your choice. We have to make Delhi safe, so how can we do that?
Yes, ma'am. If I talk about workplace safety, then I can think of strengthening the internal complaints committee, giving them more penal powers, and a timeline to fix all the cases, because I have seen that these cases are something which are long pending, and suspension happens and nothing fruitful happens out of them.
Vaishali, there have been certain instances where incidents rather that women are misusing this provision. They're actually when they are denied promotion because of certain when they don't deserve a promotion, so they are leveling certain kind of very serious and frivolous allegations. So what to do in those cases? What is your opinion? This is my last question to you.
Definitely law is a double-edged sword. And regarding that, if there is a robust inquiry mechanism in a timeline manner in which evidences are being recorded, and also I can say that more more people-friendly approach is being taken, then I can think these can be more objectively assessed. These cases can be more objectively assessed.
Right. Thank you. So,
Vaishali, can you tell us? We are very happy with your interview. Can you tell us when your interview is? UPSC, if you know the date?
It is not announced yet.
Oh, good. So you have some time to even improve on what you do. Although I think there is, in your case, little scope for improvement. You are an absolutely outstanding candidate. We are very impressed by your interview. But this is a competition. So always one mark gives you one rank above and things of that kind. We only hope you have done your writtens very, very well. And you should have no problems getting into a very high position. I mean, I'm very happy with your performance.
How come you did not make it in the previous attempts?
yeah, even I'm curious. You are such a wonderful candidate.
Such a bright candidate.
So my optional marks were not very good in last
Has it
two.
always been mathematics?
Yes, sir.
Mathematics, you can either score very high or
Yes, sir. It's a binary kind of thing.
But just a small suggestion, like you did the FOPA in the last question. So don't get limited to just mathematics, the data, because when you were sharing, maybe it was just a slip of tongue, but also, but otherwise your answers are so good, like there's nothing much to point out. So sure that other than mathematics also you don't get limited to that, but you have been not answering exactly limited to that only, but I'm just giving a suggestion.
When
right?
Mr. Swaroop asked you, the exact answer was that oil is finite, data is finite.
Infinite, yes.
Oil is a finite resource.
Yes.
Then there's
You
another
came
thing.
close to it. You said,
Yeah, you were not able to find the right
word.
Also, the vis-a-vis oil and data. So oil, the more scarce it is, it's more costly. So this when it is in more abundance, but it's not the same thing with data.
Yes, ma'am.
There are many more other parameters.
but excellent performance.
You have any
Wonderful.
question?
Sir, any particular area in which I can
No, I think
improve
you were
upon.
very good in
You are very good.
Everything.
all of us asked you
Actually,
questions.
we're doing so well. So when it's not broke, don't mend it. That kind of thing.
And please don't attend too many mocks. My humble suggestion to you, because too many cooks actually spoil the food. You're perfect. So just brush
Just
up
have
your area,
confidence in yourself.
read a lot of newspapers, like, or not even too many, but you know, go through you can also watch this shows on foreign affairs. I think Sad is one of the diplomatic dispatches, one of the must you should watch. And then just, you know, have your DAF in front of you, because today we were not having that whole DAF in front of us. Make a repository of all the questions which can be asked from any area, starting from even your name. Vaishali, what is the historical significance? What is history behind it? All that. So just work yourself. I think you are a diligent and sincere worker.
Maybe you can choose to wear your hair in a more formal manner.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Although
sir.
this is also good,
This
but
is a
then
formal.
This is
This
formal.
is itself
What can
a
be more
formal way.
formal? It's just
Only
like
thing
it.
is, one thing I notice is that when you answer the question, you're only looking at the
Yes,
person answering.
please
I think
engage.
include the others also, you know, occasionally.
Okay, sir.
So it's 80% the member who is asking the question, and 15 to 20% you can try to engage the other people. But if you are not able to do it very comfortably, then ignore it. Like, you know, don't waste your energy in that. You are otherwise very good.
Good luck to you.
All the best.
All the
Would
best,
love to
Vaishali.
see your name, Vaishali.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
See you in the top 10.